Civil rights groups file a lawsuit against Oklahoma's new immigration law. A new harm reduction vending machine is unveiled in northeast Oklahoma, and changes to the public comment process at State Board of Education meetings. We'll have details coming up on the KGOU AM News Brief for Friday, May 24th. I'm Nick Daniels. Civil rights groups have joined the legal battle over state-level immigration enforcement in Oklahoma. State Capitol reporter Lionel Ramos has more on the second lawsuit filed against the state this week over House Bill 4156.
The ACLU Oklahoma chapter, National Immigration Law Center, and Tulsa-based law firm Rivas & Associates are suing Oklahoma over the immigration measure criminalizing anyone in the state without legal immigration status. The plaintiffs are the Latino student advocacy group Padres Unidos of Tulsa and Jimena Montserrat Lopez Mena, a lifelong Oklahoman who was brought to the United States as a child and whose family is of mixed immigration status. It's the second case filed against Oklahoma after the state attorney general welcomed threats of litigation from the U.S. Department of Justice, and the DOJ delivered. The complaint says the state is overstepping by legislating matters of immigration. The groups argue people like Lopez Mena could be separated from their loved ones, despite not knowing any other place but Oklahoma. I'm Lionel Ramos.
Thursday's State Board of Education meeting featured a new public comment process in which commenters are selected at random from a sign-up sheet. State Impact's Beth Wallace reports State Superintendent Ryan Walters says the new rules are intended to stave activists from monopolizing meetings.
Before Thursday, public commenters could sign up to speak on a first-come, first-served basis, often prompting people to camp out hours before meetings. Now, speakers can sign up in the hour before the meeting starts and are selected through an online randomizer program. 10 speakers were called to the podium for Thursday's meeting. Of the 10, 6 were critical of Walters' stances and leadership. 2 were in favor of Walters. 1 asked the board for a better system to ban controversial books from schools, and 1 7th grader voiced concerns about unqualified teachers and a lack of resources at her school. After the meeting, Walters was asked what prompted the change, and he responded out-of-state paid activists had been hijacking the meetings. Asked for proof, he said he would share that information when he was ready. For State Impact, I'm Beth Wallace.
Rural northeast Oklahoma is getting its first so-called harm reduction vending machine. It's the latest move to prevent overdose deaths and more in the state. We get details from OPMX's Max Bryan.
Delaware County's Grand Mental Health Clinic in Jay keeps the vending machine on its porch where people can access Narcan, HIV tests, pregnancy tests, wound care kits, and blood alcohol tests for free at all hours. At a luncheon celebrating the machine's launch Thursday, Grand Regional Officer Cassandra Turbett said it coincides with destigmatizing mental illness and substance abuse disorders.
The individuals in our community who are struggling with mental health and substance use, those individuals matter.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, Oklahoma had more than 1,000 drug overdose deaths and more than 20,000 sexually transmitted infections in 2022, the latest year with such data. In Grove, I'm Max Bryan.
The Oklahoma Sooners softball team is one step closer to advancing to the Women's College World Series. OPMX's Ryan LaCroix reports on OU's 11-3 run rule over the Florida State Seminoles yesterday.
The Sooners had 11 runs on 11 hits and were bolstered by an explosive 5-run fourth inning. Leading the way was Alyssa Brito, who hit 2 home runs and a double. T.R.A. Jennings and Kinsey Hansen also homered in the game. With one more win, OU will clinch their 17th appearance in the Women's College World Series as they chase their 4th consecutive national title. The first pitch of Game 2 is set for 7 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma State Cowgirls play the first of a best-of-3-game series against the Arizona Wildcats in Stillwater. First pitch is tonight, also at 7. I'm Ryan LaCroix.
At the NAIA Softball World Series, the USAO Drovers won their opening game against Central Methodist yesterday by a score of 8-3. They now advance to Saturday action where they await the winner between the Oklahoma City Stars and Jessup Warriors. The first pitch for OCU's game is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. A programming note, the next episode of the KGOU AM News Brief will be Tuesday, May 28th. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you then.
Hi, it's Terry Gross, the host of Fresh Air. We bring you in-depth, long-form interviews with actors, directors, musicians, authors, journalists, and more. Listen to our Peabody Award-winning Fresh Air podcast from WHYY and NPR.